God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 26 of Your Journey Is Not Over. My name is Tanya Pearson Randolph. This is my own personal journey, and the expressions and opinions are of my own. I own all the rights to my personal journey and to Your Journey Is Not Over. Neither are to be used, copied, or edited in any way without my consent. I want to start off today by answering some questions that I've gotten asked regarding the last episode. By the way, I do love the feedback. Other people's views and beliefs. I invite that actually. I don't debate views or beliefs. No, not at all. I listen. I open myself up to their perspective. I learn. And I respect one's right to believe any way they choose to believe. As long as they believe in God, who cares how they believe, right? I sure don't. Again, free will. And that's what we were each given when we arrived on this earth. But most of all, I give respect to everyone and their beliefs. And I'm always grateful for those that share their different beliefs or perspectives with me. Do you want to know why? Because I learn something brand new with every single conversation. Sometimes it's not the whole conversation or the differences in the conversation. And that's what most focus on. I focus on the little tidbits that I take away and I learn from. For instance, I posted something on my personal Facebook, and a very dear friend that I have known well over 30 years and whom I love and adore. Well, she commented that she didn't agree with my post and that her beliefs were different than mine. You want to know what? I love that we are all different and we think different and we have different beliefs, different ways, different methods of loving the same God. Again, it's the only way we learn. And truly, I have a completely open and pure heart, and I have a love of all people, regardless of their beliefs. Also, I've been asked if I am against going to church. Again, I love the feedback and the questions, and I also love that I can respond and answer these questions too. No, I am not opposed to going to church. Not at all. I have, in fact, been invited, and I've spoken to several youth groups of different denominations, which, by the way, I do love to talk to the youth. And I always get a kick out of watching their demeanor towards me from the beginning of my speech and how they change and relax and truly realize I am one of them. I can relate to them in so many ways. I don't look like my trauma, and I'm proud to say I don't have to say I wear my trauma well anymore. That was the old version of me. The new version, well, I did my reflection, my accepting of my trauma, understanding my trauma, my healing, and I released it. I gave it to God completely, April 16th, 2024. And that's a day that changed me and my life forever. So back to going to church. Teach their own respectfully. I just wanted to, and I still want to relay that we get so caught up, with social standards, social expectations, trying to fit in, climb social ladders, and, do it to look good, for status, for popularity. I get that, and truly, I try to understand it too. But to each their own, again, respectfully. I'm very free spirited, and truly, I'm studying and reading about different religions. I want to be knowledgeable about all religions. Again, knowledgeable, not practice. Open my mind and my heart up, and also respect others for their own personal beliefs. What I was trying to relay in the last episode is that it does not matter where you are, whether you're at your home, at work, in your car, in your shower, in your bed, or at church. Anywhere you can talk to God and have your own personal relationship with Him. Growing up and being raised Pentecostal by my grandma, I do understand the importance and the influence that those years played in my life, and I am forever grateful. But now I choose to identify myself as spiritual, open to learning and gaining knowledge about all denominations. Again, my own personal way of seeing things, okay? There is no right or wrong way of believing in God, and no religion is better than any other religions. And religions and religious beliefs are most of the time generational. Again, we know what we are raised and taught, right? And in my case, it was the Pentecostal religion, which was most likely passed down from one generation to the next. Again, what we were born into and what we were taught, right? I wanted to also hopefully reach with my voice and my statements in the last episode to those many people that haven't been to church since childhood, or have only been for a wedding or a funeral. My grandma always said, God's not in a building, Tanya. He's in your heart. So please talk to Him, no matter where you are. I hope this clears some things up for everyone, and thank you for the curiosity and for the questions. Hey, at least I know many are listening, right? And for that, I am forever grateful. Thank you for tuning in with me and for reaching out. It's the only way that we learn is by being, thinking, and believing different. I do not own the rights to the things that I'm about to share. This one is called Practice the Pause. Pause before judging. Pause before assuming. Pause before accusing. Pause whenever you're about to react harshly, and you will avoid doing and saying things you will later regret. So please, pause. This one is called the isolation theory. Sometimes you have to go somewhere no one else goes to become someone no one else is. Away from noise, away from expectations, away from pressure to fit in. Because peace isn't found in comfort, it's found in solitude. It's in the moment you stand alone and realize you don't need validation to feel alive. The deeper that you go into the wild, the closer you get to your true self. Also, Psalms 121, verse 8. For with God, nothing shall be impossible. Focus on Jesus, not the storm. Focus on Jesus, not the anxiety. Focus on Jesus, not the pain. Focus on Jesus, not the struggle. When you walk with Jesus, the impossible becomes possible. With Jesus by your side, no storm is strong and no struggle is too great. Trust Him. He's got you. This concludes my podcast for today. Please join me Thursday, listen in, and always remember, your journey is not over. God bless.
God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows.